Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mr. Bryson. I'm with Susquehanna Valley High School here in Conklin, New York, and we're going to go over some real number properties. Justify each step in solving this equation by either using a property of real numbers, commutative, associative, or distributive, or a property of equality, the additive property of equality or the multiplicative property of equality. So here, we're looking at what goes on between those two lines, and we're putting the answer there. If you notice, the parentheses disappear and the numbers change. That is distributive. We distributed the 2 times x is 2x, the 2 times 7 is 14. These stayed the same. Now, we're going to examine the next two lines. What's happening between those two spots? There are no parentheses, so they can't disappear. We have a 2x and a 2x, a 14, oh, and a 4x. Let me see, and a 4x. Look, they changed places. What happens when something changes place? That is the commutative property, and in fact, it's the commutative property of addition. Now let's look at the next line. What happens between those two? Parentheses appear. You might want to say we factored out an x. In fact, we did. We factored out the greatest common, not the greatest common factor, because there's still another number that's common in there, but we factored out an x. We can't write factor here because it says we can only use these words. Remember, factoring and distribution are opposites of each other. So that is the distributive property. Because if we went from the bottom to the top, we would have been distributing. Now let's look at the next two lines. From here to here, there's no line there, so we're not going to add anything. When I say add, we're not going to put a line there. Okay. What we did was we combined like terms and then commuted. So let's look at those two. What's happening between the 6x plus 14, 6x plus 14 minus 14? Hang on a second. How can I put a minus 14 there? Oh, wait. I put a minus 14 on the other side also. So that is when I add the same thing. Wait a minute. What are you adding? I'm adding negative 14. When I subtract the same number from the left-hand side and the right-hand side, like we've been doing for years now, that's a property of equality because I did equal things to both sides of the equation. So that's the additive property of equality. Then we have a line where we combined the plus 14 and the negative 14 and the 44 and the minus 14, and we get that. Combining like terms again. Now this last line, what did I do from 6x equals 30 to 6x equals 30? Oh, wait, I divided both sides by 6. We don't have anything here saying divided. Remember, multiplication and division are opposites of each other. So that is still, whenever we're dividing by both sides or we're multiplying by both sides, we always call it the multiplicative property of equality. There's only one property we did not have an example of, and it's this. If I were to do an associative property, I would want to group the 3 plus 8 to add them together. So this is the associative property because 3, 8, x, 29, 3, 8, x, 29, everything stayed in the same order. The only thing that changed were the parentheses. That's called the associative property. So write that in your notes. If you have any questions, make sure you ask me in class. I'll see you later.